Hi YouTubers, thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Kevin, you're watching The Royal We, and in this particular video I want to challenge you to take on the mindset that the narcissist in your current situation that has been drawn up so much anger and rage in your life aimed at the narcissist because of the way they've made you feel. I want to challenge you to come to the realization that they are not, the narcissists in your current situation are not the root of your issues. They're not the root of your anger and your frustration, even though you want to rage at them. How can they dare treat you like that? How ugly, those demons, you have all this rage. I want to challenge you to look at it another way, that the narcissists in your current situation are possibly just wound exposers, and what they've done is open up wounds that you have been living with your entire life, from as far back as you don't even remember anymore. Parts of you that have been long forgotten, situations and things that you have experienced in your life that you have pushed way back to the subconscious parts of your mind, to the point where they're inaccessible almost, because you weren't equipped to be able to deal with the issues at the time. I mean, when we're young, we're so vulnerable and we know very little of this world. And when we are exposed to evil, when we are exposed to abuse as children, and abuse can be from parents, abuse can be from teachers, abuse can be from bullies, from siblings, from anyone in our adolescent life, anybody who we look up to, and at that point in time, anybody who we feel inferior to naturally because we're so young. That's the issue. We're unable to defend ourselves when we're young. We are so dependent when we're children. So we have no choice but to deal with the abuse when we're young. Now we're older. Now we have strength. We're bigger. And now we have people in our life who dare come to us with their narcissistic ways and start trouble and start demeaning and devaluing and want to get in our face. And now we want to take on these narcissists because we're bigger, and we were going to get them with every bit of our strength and our might. But what we don't realize is that we're not just dealing with the narcissist because they called us a name at this point. What we're dealing with is we are now putting onto that narcissistic individual who reminds us of the trauma that we dealt with when we were younger. We're taking all that trauma from all of those people, our parents, our teachers who devalued us, bullies, anybody, coaches. We're taking all that trauma and we're putting it on the narcissist now. We're giving that on the narcissist. We're projecting. As codependents, as empathic people, we can project now all the hurt, all the injustice in the world that we've seen. We're shoving it in the face of the narcissist, saying, "This is you. I hate you." Right? That's what's going on. Now, it's easier to do that, and this is why we do this with the narcissist in our life. This is why we live in a place of pain and we allow the narcissist to continue to abuse us, and we stay stuck in this cycle of them abusing us and us saying, you're wrong and you're ugly and you're evil and you're a demon. We stay stuck in there. The reason is because it's easier for us to look at the narcissists in our life right now and deal with them. Why? Because they're there. They're there. They're now the ones that are giving us injustice. They're the ones that they're showing us the injustice of the world, and they are now the face of all the trauma that we've experienced all throughout our life because of their actions of being careless and reckless with their words. All right? And so what I want to get you to understand is that the most difficult challenge and thing that we're going to have to deal with is accepting that the narcissist is not the reason for our pain and our anger and our hurt and our frustration. The narcissist was not there in our youth. The narcissist that we're dealing with now is not, has no idea about the trauma, right? And so we have to be able to face that. Now it's difficult to face that because maybe they're no longer in our life. How do we deal with the teacher who criticized us in class, who embarrassed us? How do we deal with that when that teacher is no longer in our life? How do we deal with a step-parent who has been since long gone? Step-parent came into your life for 10 years, married to your mom or your dad, and then they divorced again, and so they're out of the picture after they abused you. You don't know where they are, and you don't care. How do you deal with bullies that you dealt with when you were younger, and you have no idea, what happened to them? Everything's long gone. It's very hard to reconcile internally these things. And I'm going to make a video that will help you be able to deal with these things. It's difficult and you can't. It feels like you can't. So now you have a narcissist in your life. Now you can deal with that. And now not only can you deal with that narcissist, but you can compound what you want to feel towards that narcissist with all of the stuff, all the injustices in life, all the wickedness that you've seen. This is why you want to be angry at the narcissist. This is why you want to make sure the narcissist knows how upset you are. This is why. I want to challenge you to think about this. I want to challenge you to take steps for yourself to do the right thing. Figure out how to get in touch with the trauma that has taken place in your life and deal with that. Deal with that trauma. I promise you guys that when you start to understand this trauma, when you start to understand this injustice that exists in the world around us, the injustice that has taken place in your life when you were younger, I promise you, if you get to this point and you realize this and you figure out how to move past that, move past the trauma from your youth, how to forgive and move on and detach from what's happened to you in a very real way, not a coping way. I'm not talking about, the high school party days where nothing else in the world matters because you're just having a good time. I'm talking about now looking back saying, wow, I grew up in an abusive environment. I got to deal with that, right? Or I had some teachers that sucked and I got to deal with that, right? When you figure this out and you deal with this, all of a sudden your narcissist in your current situation lose power over you. They just become a person who's careless with their words. They become a person with their own issues that they need to deal with. And it's no longer your problem. You see, you're making the narcissist your problem in life because it's easier to make the narcissist the problem than it is to deal with the root of the problem. Because, how do you, like I said, how do you do that? In my situation, guys, a lot of my hurt comes from the situation of, like I said, growing up in an environment where there was a lot of verbal abuse. And I put a lot of undealt with issues with my mother aside, and my dad for that matter. Now my dad is still alive, and I have to deal with the issues that exist there. My mom is no longer with us. She passed away. So I need to figure out how to move on without even talking to my mom about that, about the issues from growing up, about the trauma that occurred from her marriage to an abusive man, my stepfather. So I need to figure that out. It's difficult to figure out how to do that, how to move on past that. I can't talk to my mom about it. She's gone. So all of this to say, I've taken all this pain, and I'm sure if you think about it, and when you get to this place, you're going to understand this, that you take this pain and you project it all on the current narcissist in your life. I hope this helps you guys. I want to encourage you that there is hope. You're going to get through this. We are going to get through this. And we're going to move on. We're going to move on. We're going to get to this place where we are finding our purpose in life. You are going to find your purpose in life. You're going to get past the anger and the hurt and the frustration that the narcissist caused in your life. You're going to realize that it's a compounding of all the trauma that you've ever experienced. The narcissist in your life has done you a favor by ripping off the scabs, by opening and ripping off all the cover-ups in your life. And be grateful that you're no longer in a place where you are covering things up with partying and sex, whatever it is, your addictions or your habits that you've been in. Be thankful that you are now facing this. Be thankful that you are now facing whatever's happened to you in your life, whatever trauma that you've gone through. And that's all I got, guys. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like this video, share it if it can help somebody else, and be sure to subscribe. Thanks. Bye.